Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 37 of the Nine Dart Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. And for those of you, well, particularly to the maybe more audio, just sort of in the background listeners, there's a little bit of a different look about the Nine Dart Podcast today, as I welcome Josh in. You did allude to this a couple of weeks ago, Josh, but for those who may be joining us for the very first time,
welcome, first and foremost. And yes, I have got a Damon Header World Series Aussie edition, and for my birthday, which was 11 days ago. So thank you, Mum. It's a very nice. It actually fits you really well. Perfect size. I made sure I did some measurements beforehand. I think it looks pretty good on there. What do you think?
I think it looks very good. And Josh and his assistants asked me to bring in my Stephen Bunting shirt. So even though Bunting has not won a tournament in the last week, which is the usual reason why I bring in my shirt, I thought I would comply with Josh. So a slightly different look. But we do have positive things to say about both of our players that we're wearing, representing today, as they will both be in the next big tournament with the Grand Slam of Darts almost full with their qualification. Just 8 spots left to go, which will be decided literally the morning after this podcast is recorded and dropped.
Saturday morning
Australian time. But we start with our first thoughts on a European Championship that once again threw up some surprise results. I thought we'd find something a little bit different with this tournament, and we did. It just wasn't what I expected. The guys we predicted to make the final, Bunting, Rock and Price, all lost in the first round. So that wasn't
Don't take our advice, guys.
That wasn't great from our perspectives, but overall a strong tournament with a few good runs to semi-finals and quarterfinals, which we'll talk about in the positive surprise. Overall, a strong tournament, and the European Championship is a bit of a sleeper, as one that tends to give us just a little bit of a different outcome every year, which is good.
It does. No, well, Van Veen was one where we're sort of building up who is so capable of winning a major, which we'll get to later, obviously the winner. But in terms of the actual tournament itself, some really strong performances, a few ones that, a few upsets, I guess. Johnny Clayton being a notable one. Yeah,
both Welshmen did not do particularly well at this tournament. Clayton and Price both losing on the opening day. You had my man Stephen Bunting putting in the highest losing average in tournament history. Just that one didn't go his way, unfortunately, against Chris Dobey. A few guys making good runs throughout the tournament, as I said earlier. A strong tournament, and one that tends to throw up some exciting stuff. We had a high 170 checkout from
Van Veen.
I don't know why that's there. Go away, that one. Oh, dear.
Try again.
Sorry, let's try that again.
Take 2, guys. It'll be even better the second time.
Even better the second time. It'll be the exact same route. So this was Ryan Searle. This clashed with the ANZ Premier League night that was going on at the same time. So I was flipping back and forth between both. And this was just about the best individual performance. It pretty much was 109.92, basically 110 average from Van Veen. Just a strong week from the young Dutchman. The last couple of plays, championship events. Is this a video, Josh? Why?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not.
It's just my computer's doing terrible things. Richie Edhouse had a 170 finish on a streaming board against Oscar Lukasiak. There was a very funny moment in the most recent Players Championship. Let's see.
Oh, here we go.
No, that was. No, it's not working.
Must have frozen on your side because it's working on mine.
Okay.
Anyway.
I was going to throw in another one where Peter Wright wanted 20 points, so a double 10, but he 2 turns in a row, he thought he wanted 12, double 6. So he threw double 6, double 3, came inside, bust, then went back and missed 3 times, double 6. And then he comes back to the oche needing 20, and here's a long look at the scorer, and what it's saying. I've left 20. It was very funny. So they were some of the crazy moments that happened this weekend. But the best story was Gian van Veen winning the European Championship. And if I had more time this week, which I don't, I would have gone back. And at this point, I would have said it all the times in this podcast that I've referred to Van Veen as being a potential major winner.
Oh, absolutely.
He has shown his class ever since he won. I want that bottom bar to go away, and it's not doing that, which is very annoying. But he has shown his class for a very, very long time to win a major, and it just all came to him this particular week, picking up the title in Dortmund. Very strong performances, 98.7, 109.9, 101.4, 93.7. These are averages, obviously, and 101 in the final. And after missing a couple of chances in the previous leg to win at 11-9, to take out the 100 again, or to take the 100 this time, backing himself in with the 48-32 checker right in the last leg after Humphries had missed a dart to win the title.
Yes. Both are match darts.
Yeah. So, well, Humphries was just a match dart, but still.
Sorry.
But
top singles.
It was it was a deserving win for Gian van Veen, who had just a phenomenal week. And going into that last day, I thought he might be. It could easily be one of these. If we're going to get a new winner, we'll probably either of the Dutchmans of Noppert or Van Veen. And Gian it was, and just so happy for him.
So happy for him.
He's been sort of in the shadow of... He was favourite against Luke Littler when they played the World Youth Final nearly 2 years ago now.
Wow.
He lost that one, and then Littler obviously went to make the World Professional Final but at the Ali Pali. But he's been someone who's just been knocking on the door so long, so it's great to see him get over the line.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think the books had him fourth on the odds if you're a betting man, but incredible. Yeah, I was so proud of him because, he's been pushing for a title for so long at the ripe age of just 23, so he's got such a bright future ahead of him, doesn't he? It's just incredible, and big smile on his face. It's great to see.
Again, the way he did it against Damo and against Ryan and against, both Ryan Searle and Joyce and against MVG when he wasn't playing particularly well, and MVG sort of had him on the ropes and Van Gogh and just missed some crucial doubles at times, but Van Veen didn't. And then to play against the world number one, who remains the world number one after James Wade knocked out Luke Littler in the second round stage, preventing us from the All Lukes quarterfinal that we were looking forward to so immensely. But
didn't happen. It's too good.
It didn't happen for either of the Lukes, and so the European Championship remains one that eludes both Humphries and Littler. Neither one of them won it. This could be the little... it could be the one tournament they struggled to get their hands on.
Yeah. Well, I just saw Littler and Wade. They both had the exact same average, 97.75. It just came out to me when I was just reading it. Incredible. So there you go. But yes, no Littler on this one. Yeah, Wade was just too good. But the main story, of course, is Van Veen. He was incredible. Very proud of him. So
there we go. There's the 101.
Iconic photo.
Everyone's leaving with the trophy. This goes back to Lionel Messi and Stephen Bunting doing it, I think. I think they were the two superstars of world sport.
Yes.
That were the ones that really popularised this, and now Littler's done it. Van Veen's done it. Everyone is doing it. There's the final 101 average, 39.29% on the double, 6 maximums, and 160 checkouts along the way. I love something Van Veen said after the match. He was talking to whoever it was. I can't remember who the interviewer was on stage, and he said, I'd promised my girlfriend that after I won my first stage title, I wouldn't actually cry. And the poor guy, it was an emotional moment.
Oh, of course.
But look, we'll forgive you, Han, because he's been knocking on the door for a little while now as one who could potentially build his way up, and we'll talk about him later in a moment of could he be a Premier League contender. He's surely got to be in the short list of who you want.
We will get to that for sure. For sure, no doubt. Very, very happy for him.
But there were some other good runs this tournament. Look, Luke Humphries making the final isn't exactly a surprise, but Danny Noppert again continuing some great form. Wouldn't be surprised if he got through that Grand Slam qualifier tomorrow. Ricardo Pietreczko again, he showed some pretty good, consistent stuff in the 90 averages in his matches. And Daryl Gurney as well, making a quarterfinal run as well, getting the better of Gowan Price and Ross Smith as well. So they were names to shout at as ones that had good thrown in Ryan Joyce in there as well. As get another consistent week. Getting the quarterfinal, and James Wade as well beating Luke Littler was a good surprise. We sort of expect James Wade to be sort of a more back end of tournaments, but still he got through a tough mini section of the draw to just get to that quarterfinal stage. So that was certainly impressive. Also want to shout out to Cameron Menzies, nearly knocked off Luke Humphries in the second round as well. Averaged 101. So it's good to see that Menzies is beginning to string together some good performances as well. And this is the time of year you want to be stringing together good performances as we head towards what will be the biggest darts tournament ever when we get to the World Championship for the 128 and just the massive prize money that'll be up for grabs. It's going to be so good.
Who will be featuring from Australia? We don't know yet. So
we'll talk about the ANZ Premier League just a little bit later.
We will.
And that'll be what to look out for. This is all you with Mike De
It
Decker.
was actually hard to find a flop this week because there was no real stinker performances as such, but I guess the Decker was one that was a little bit subpar. 85 average, just got the one leg over Wadey, who averaged 97 in that game. I just watching it, I found it was just a fraction off his game, that's all. But, I'm sure he'll bounce back. He's very, very good. So there was just one that was just a little bit disappointing, that's all.
I want to have a little bit of a rant here. We used to do when we did other podcasts on Extra Time before we turned almost exclusively into a darts YouTube channel. This one at the moment. Yeah. We had the Volcanzo as a thing I started doing. This is sort of a mini version of that. There won't be an accompanying article or anything like that. But I did want to say that the last couple of nights, there have been golf tournaments that have been clashing with the ANZ Premier League. And this is very disappointing, Josh, because this is as big as it's ever going to be in Australia and New Zealand. And there was a tournament out in Perth a couple of weeks ago and one in Korea, the Genesis Championship. There, evidently, the Exodus Championship is next week for a 73-week event tour that ends with Revelations. Anyway, It's very, very frustrating that the dance was getting in the way, was being interrupted by it's always the last group on the 18th hole every single time. So I've got to work out now see if I can find out what golf tournament, if any, might ruin our because it generally cut off about half of the first game a couple of weeks ago. And then to add further insult to injury, and I don't know if you caught this with the way you go about watching darts, but we didn't see the Stephen Bunting game. Never aired in Australia.
Which one?
On KO, the Stephen Bunting Chris Dobey game.
Oh, really?
No, it never. They had some sort of technical difficulty. They went to show Luke Littler's game at the World Championship when he beat Ryan Meikle and put on that ridiculous set. And saying a graphic, we have technical difficulties. And presumably by the time they resolved them, the match was already over. So they just went to whatever the next programming was. Wow. So in that block, European Championship first night, you only got 7 darts matches. Yeah. And the best one of the night, and I don't just say this as a Stephen Bunting fan, it was objectively, by a numbers point of view, the best game of that particular night. We didn't see it.
Why? Come on, surely there's a way that Fox, KO, whatever networking out there is over in the UK can find a way to just have it on a different channel. But I don't know. That's
just something went awry.
Yeah. Going back to the Premier League, it's always that sort of first half of the game or the intro even, and you're like, oh, it's 3-2 in the first match. Oh, who actually got those legs and stuff? I don't know.
There's an event in Hong Kong tomorrow as part of the Golf Asian Tour on KO, so that might be. It starts at 3:30 apparently. Hopefully that doesn't clash too badly. That again, it's that sort of similar time zone where things could get just a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of golf on KO. There's always golf on KO. The US Hong Kong Open from the Hong Kong Golf Club. So I'm just going to have to be following that, not in terms of I don't watch basically any golf, but I just want to see where is the last group at 7 o'clock
on the 18th.
Probably up on the 17th. Very just do a bit of this
slowly
back and forth. That sort of thing.
So,
while we're just talking about darts broadcasting, I did put in the latest news, even though I should have. ITV will be keeping the rights for darts.
Yep.
There was an indication. It almost seemed like that there was an indication that the Players Championship finals that was coming up were going to be the last ones for ITV, and that Channel 5 was going to take over, Channel 5 being another free-to-air broadcaster in the UK. But seemingly things changed in the 12 hours sort of, or 24 hours between those sort of announcements. And so darts will remain on ITV. Expect some changes because now Matchroom Sport will be the ones that will be doing the production sort of thing. So expect maybe a few different commentators and pundits on ITV's coverage. But darts will remain on free-to-air in a certain capacity in the UK, which is a good thing, I guess.
That's good. Absolutely.
So from that point of view, so ITV will remain until the Sky deal is until 2031. The ITV deal isn't only until I think 2028. I think.
Okay.
It's definitely not as long. Doesn't go into the 2030s. Now it's time to get into the great debate. Will Gian van Veen be in the Premier League next year? He's up to world number 7. So world number 7 in the world.
Jumped from 15.
He's world number 6 on the tour cards race. He was 15 coming into this tournament. Yep. On the year-to-date order of merit, he's 3 only behind the Lukes. Yeah, wow. And, so let's just hear from the man himself, GVV.
Hopefully this works. Yes.
Well, number 7. No, not bad. Great rise. Yeah. I know you didn't want to talk about it then, but now are you in Premier League contention? You've won a major. You're in the top 7 in the world. Yeah. Are you now in contention?
Hopefully. You know, if Barry or Matt is listening, then yeah, I would love to be in the Premier League next year. But you know, so many people talked about it before this weekend, and it was number 15, and everyone said, you know, he's done nothing yet. You know, he can challenge Luke and Michael, but he's not won a title. Well, I have now. So, you know, if I get the invite next year, I'll definitely be in.
It must be said that, Mike Dedecker sort of went, who's up to world number 70 now, so he's still top 16, Mike Dedecker. Yeah. He's gone up a couple of places during the sort of last couple of Pro Tour events, but he came out after the Grand Prix and said he wasn't really ready, and it wasn't until after, like, when he lost that controversial match in the last 16 of the Grand Slam to Littler when the crowd was whistling at him, that's when he sort of turned around, but at that point, there's sort of seeds of doubt. He lost first game of the Worlds, and then he didn't make it in, which I still think was nonsense. But anyway, look, he's surely got to be, like, he has to be. There's no way you can look at the way he's performed and what we've seen from him and say he can't. He shouldn't even be in this conversation. And he leapfrogs. I mean, by right, he should leapfrog someone like a Gerwyn Price now. So we have our top 4 in Luke, Michael, and Stephen, who will probably be in, even if they don't finish top 4. Maybe Stephen is probably the least likely of those, but I'm just going to assume he's in the Premier League next year. Fingers crossed. He'll want to do better than what he did last year and bounce back.
Disappointing.
Van Veen and Rock have won big events. Yep. I know the World Cup's a bit different with the pairs and the non-ranking, but still we can call them big events, televised tournaments. And then beyond that, you've got guys like Johnny and James who have made finals or have had consistent runs on TV. They're 4th and 5th on the year-to-date order of merit. Yep. So he probably jumps ahead of Gerwyn for mine, though, let's be honest, if Gerwyn's somewhere in the mix, the PDC will absolutely put him in the Premier League.
For sure.
So, and they don't tend to make any more than like 2 changes from the previous year's lineup. I can't imagine Rob Cross is back in it. Nathan Aspinall maybe, but he's got a bit of work to do. Well, Chris Dobey, again, a bit of work to do.
So maybe.
You could maybe see up to at least, it's unlikely it's more than 2 based on history, but we might see 3 ins and 3 outs this year. Yeah. But you would have to put Van Veen almost in your 8 now, surely, off the back of this weekend and what we've seen from him in the past. And we'll go to the Grand Slam now as the number 7 seed.
Yeah, okay.
So he's got his own group there. So he's got to be, again, in the world's top 8, world's top 7. He's got to be in it, surely.
For sure. No, he's been very impressive. And again, as you said, he's been in and around, but winning this tournament sort of proves that he can compete against, both the Lukes. Obviously, he won a last leg decider, kept his cool, 101 average, but very good across the week, beat MBG. So he was talking about beating these guys like Michael Humphries, which he did in this tournament and in the past, but I think he's in it as well. I think Rock as well, he's another one of those guys who we've been talking about who's like needs to win a major. Obviously, the World Cup isn't deemed a major, but he played very well on that one. Obviously, in other events too. But for me, Van Veen's definitely in for sure. He's proved himself. He's proved me right. So very happy for him. And if they don't put him in, that's a disgrace if they don't.
Well, we'll see what happens with the remainder of the year, but he certainly got so much of the of what the PDC would want and the talent to be very competitive in the Premier League. And not to mention the fact that he's defending basically nothing at the back end of the year, being still a newish tour card holder. So that puts him up to world number 6 in the year-to-date order of merit. He's in the players, he's in the slam, and of course he'll be he'll be right up there among the best of the bookies' chances for the World Championship. We know the Lukes will go off very strong. Littler will be probably favoured to defend his title with Humphries behind them. But Van Veen will be up there, and we'll see what damage he can do over those longer formats of the World Championships.
Absolutely.
No future star this week. There weren't really any JC tournaments or anything else. So let's get into the latest news. Yes. And Brody Klinge was the winner on ANZ Premier League night 4. 4 nights, 4 winners, which is
different winners.
Fantastic
It's
to
great.
see, and to see the sort of all these great names come together and really push for it.
Yep.
This is how we did it in a strong final performance in particular.
Very
as the
strong.
big
That was
standout.
a cracking game. Yep. So there we go. 5-2 against Tim Pusey in the quarterfinal. 5-4 against James Bailey, who was again impressive. 93 average, and then 5-3 against Raymond Smith, 104.65.
Should mention,
Very nice.
Tim Pusey's on the lookout for a new nickname. He's
He
not allowed
is.
to use his one at
Yes.
the World Championship.
Which we know, so do I. Yeah.
Yep.
So fair enough.
We'll be seeing to see if he comes up with
Fair
anything
enough.
different.
Game's gone.
This is how the night unfolded overall.
Yep.
So Whitlock beat Johnny Tartar, who's still yet to win after we saw him
What a
take up
comeback
the
that was.
opening night.
Did you watch that one?
Yeah, that was.
Incredible comeback.
I'm watching it all, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm all
don't worry,
over
me
it.
too. Yeah, that was an incredible game. Incredible. But
Yeah, and
anything other notable? Joe Camino, a bit disappointing again.
Disappointing against.
He was
only a
one that you were
76
thinking.
average. I had him up there.
You were
for a
adamant for, like,
great,
top two sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think he's
but
last
he's
now.
just
Yeah.
he's dead last. So Bailey again picked up another win along the way. Kling, Smith,
He
and
was good.
Whitlock. Kling and Smith made the final with Brody Klinge making that. So here we go. Here's the top four.
Updated
Perhaps
table.
not surprisingly that the four guys who've actually won nightly finals
Yeah,
are
who
your
would've thought?
top four. Raymond Smith is the clear runaway leader on 13 points, the most
Mm-hmm.
consistent at the moment with a 17 positive leg differential.
Yeah,
Ben
wow.
Robb is second on 7 points, just the one +1 in the leg difference ahead of Brody Kling, and Johnny Tartar is ahead of James Bailey on that leg differential, and then it's Whitlock, Pusey, and Comito. Interestingly, that the two Australians we know will absolutely be at the World Championships, and Comito and Pusey last and second last in the ANZ
Interesting.
Premier League at let's just in effect the halfway stage. Going to Adelaide next week, which is
Yes.
the most ticketed event or successfully
they say.
ticketed event has been widely discussed. So interested to see what the crowd like and what they
South
do
Australians
there.
better put on a show.
Absolutely, it was interesting to see with the Hobart Arena. They didn't have one big walk on stage during the middle. They sort of came off this
it was
way.
just
Very
that
odd.
big thing, and then there was a big gap between the sort of barrier and the crowd. It was a bit strange.
Just trying to think who it was. I think it was Raymond Smith at one point with one of his later walk-ons. He was basically the security guy next to him was basically ushering up to, "You've got to go on stage now." Raymond, or it was either Raymond Smith or Simon Whitlock.
Simon Whitlock, yeah.
One of them.
He was signing
it might have
and
been
it's
Simon.
very slow, yeah.
He was signing. He
right.
wanted to get to everybody, but was like, no, and he sort of had to I'm sorry, I apologise,
Yeah,
because
he
he did
did.
actually have to get up to play a darts match.
Walked around slowly.
Yes, so
Yeah,
look, the
kudos.
ANZ Premier League's been strong so far.
Yeah,
we
been
see
good.
the tournament averages for each of the individual players there on the right, and they're all in the 80s except for Raymond Smith, who's over 90.
And also Kling. 90.2.
Oh, and Kling as well. Sorry, I missed that one. Yeah, Kling 90.23 off the back of some strong performances
Yeah,
over the
that
last
bumps up a little bit.
couple
It's
of
good.
nights. 4 nightly winners, so they're the top 4, which makes plenty of sense. Could we see any more unique winners? You feel
We
like
could.
it could absolutely happen. Simon hasn't got a win yet. Tim Pusey feels like, but I mean,
He's due.
yeah,
I guess you could
but
say.
look, even Tim Pusey, who's second to last, he's only 1 point and a little bit of leg difference
Yeah.
behind Johnny Tartar there,
that
and
in
he's
top four,
he's
yeah.
got bare 0.08, barely anything, but it is a slightly better 3-dot average across the tournament. So there's still. It's everything still to play for. You can have just
is.
one big night like
Yes.
that. Johnny Tartar win in Melbourne might carry him to finals night,
could.
even if he doesn't pick up too many
just
more
on that fringe
wins.
at the moment, just on fourth. Yeah, so between second and sixth, it's all to play for. There's only 2 points in it. It's incredible. With
Yeah, it is
three nights to
absolutely.
go before finals
Just a semi-final. A final losing
pretty much.
appearance between second and seventh. There, only the 3 points between Rob and Pusey. So it's all to play for.
It
Still,
is.
as we
It's
go to
exciting.
Adelaide,
Nice and
we got
close.
3 more regular season nights, and
Yes.
then into finals night in Brisbane with the
Yes.
spot at the Ali Pally on the line for those.
Big.
Not named Raymond Smith, who we know is going to Lakeside.
I think after when he also confirmed it, so he's double confirmed it now. He's adamant.
He's going to keep asking every time he's going to win the tournament, and they're going to straight up ask him, "Are you 100% sure you want to go to Lakeside? Are you really sure
Yeah,
you'll
mate.
get
Sort of
you get
do.
you get £15,000 just for turning up to Alexandra Palace? If you fall sick in the morning and pull out, do you still get that 15,000? I actually don't know. You could pull it on the morning
I don't know.
before if you wanted to. So, look, at the moment. He's on top to win this
Man up his mind.
particular tournament.
Yep.
And Raymond Smith on top of the Premier League with 13. But Brody Klinge, the winner most recently.
Indeed.
Now we get to the recent place championship events. Chris Dobey and Vessel Nijman are the winners. And good to see Nijman pick up a title after he missed several match starts against Michael Van Gerwen. Just can't quite get over the line in those early stages of majors at the moment. You feel like if he can break through, he can really make a great run in one of these very soon. Good to see Chris Dobey also pick up a title. And that meant that because Rob Cross, who lost first round in both of these, that meant that the two men from the Players' Championship events that have qualified for the Grand Slam are Chris Dobey himself and our man Damon Heta. So the only way Damon Heta could have been knocked out was, first of all, I said last week if we have one unique finalist, he'd still be in. Because I forgot about Chris Dobey, that wasn't actually true. He needed two guys who had already qualified for the Grand Slam to make the European Championship final, which happened because Van Veen won the World Youth final and Humphries has gone through basically every other tournament and made the final.
Pretty much,
most of them anyway. And so then we needed Rob Cross, who was the only one who could knock him off, winning a second Pro Tour, but also because he's higher than him on the order of merit, he would have got in that way. That didn't happen, so Dobey and Heta won Players' Championship event number 13 and 20 earlier this year.
Yep,
so that has been able to secure him a spot, and he was very happy on his social media that he doesn't need to go to the Grand Slam qualifier tomorrow.
Yes.
And so there's still some big names. Let me just go to the tool card race. This will help me introduce this. Guys like Danny Noppert, Ross Smith, Mike De Decker, Wanamina, Searle, Chisnell, Cross, Vandenberg, Joyce, Menzies, Edhouse, Woodhouse, Van Dyvenbode, Peter Wright, Michael Smith. These guys, Ricardo Pietretscu, who are Rainbow Barneveld, they're not in the Grand Slam at the moment, and they're going to have to come through the qualified tomorrow. And don't expect the big names to all make it through. We see with these qualified. Yeah. We saw it last year when Martin Lukeman and Mickey Mansell made it through the qualifier, and then Mansell made I think a semi or a quarterfinal, and Martin Lukeman is in this tournament despite the fact he hasn't made any deep runs on TV since, because he made the final last year, so they got him into this year's one automatically.
Mickey Mansell can chuck a dart. Chuck a dart, they say.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, so expect some wild and different names to be in this tournament. Expect a few of the big guys to, those I mentioned, to absolutely show their quality and make it through. But it could be a very different. No Peter Wright, no Rob Cross, no Michael Smith, no Dimmy at a Grand Slam. That is quite possibly what we're going to see when it kicks off in about a week's time. So we'll be there to preview it all.
We will. Next week.
The groups will contain, Group A will contain Luke Humphries, who remains the world number one, at least for now. The 8th seed, Chris Dobey, is Group B. Stephen Bunting's Group C, the 4th seed. James Wade's the 5th seed, he's Group D. Luke Littler's the number 2 seed, Group E. Next to Gian van Veen, Group F, the number 7 seed. Then we get Michael Van Gerwen, who's the number 3 seed, he's in Group G. And Johnny Clayton, the world number 6, is in Group H. The last year of this 32-player Grand Slam format before they expand to 48 next year. We're very interested to see what they do with the qualification.
Yes.
Because ever since the BDO folded, it just hasn't had the feel of the Grand Slam of old. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with qualification. And I actually want to propose to anyone listening at the PDC to move the ANZ Premier League forward by about a month or a few weeks forward to allow an ANZ Premier League winner to make it to the Grand Slam of darts. I think that would be great to see an Australian local representative in there. And I think we need to see more guys from around the world. I want to see, the top guy from the Caribbean tour, and I want to see the best African player there at the Grand Slam. We could see, I want to see Lakeside winners. I want to see guys who win the Motor Super Series could absolutely be worthy of a Grand Slam spot. Sure. So be interested to see what they do when they look at the qualification. I hope they don't just make it a top 16 in the world you get in, because that's every other tournament. Make these. This should be a champion of champions type event. Yes. So you should need to win events to particularly win a major event or even a European tour to really stamp yourself. It can be a bit confusing with when you throw in Players' Championship funds and everything else. So a simpler format would be great, but I still want to see a sort of champions. That was the idea behind the Grand Slam, get the winners from all the big tournaments in the PDC and BDO to come together. We've lost that BDO side of thing, and the WDF isn't as strong as the BDO was. It is at its peak. Yep. But I would still like to see some strong affiliate tours be represented at the Grand Slam. I think that would be great. But as it is, we will have our 32 player field tomorrow, and hopefully we have a draw by the time we record a podcast next week. That'd be nice, Josh.
That'd be good. So
and we can do full scale predictions on it. While I'm on this, I don't think we'll put this on the rundown again, but Stefan Belmont will be at the World Championship as the winner of the Challenge Tour, cool. And he'll be at the Grand Slam as well. That concluded, I believe, that was over the week when that wrapped up, or between our last couple of podcasts, I think so. Yeah, it was. So Stefan Belmont has got a tour card for next year. The Swiss. Darius Labanowski's finished second, and he is he's going to be a tour card holder as well next year. We're going to see Ted Everts and Mervyn King is going to be back at the World Championship. He finished 4th on the Challenge Tour Order of Merit, and he's going to get a spot as well. So we will see some familiar names in a sense where Mervyn King's back on the Ali Pally stage. That'll be fun.
Just like your man Paul Lim.
Yes, we're gonna see so many
old
fun names,
/
champion names,
essentially champion names. Yeah,
there's still hope for Whitlock to get in off the ANZ Premier League.
There is.
That would be something. We get King, Whitlock, and Lim at a World Championship. We'll get the old band back together, so to speak. That'd be fun.
Absolutely. They're just the results as well. So the most notable one is Nijman's win against Paxton, 116.87 to 6-1 victory. Just obliterated Paxton. He was averaging 97 as well. So very good game between those two gentlemen. But those were the results. Motors for you. So Tom Sykes was your Week 8 winner. 1-4-2 against Big Boris. He was there in the final. 98 average, 50% on the doubles. 2 maximum, so he is in Champions Week once again. We have the Week 9 lineup. We've got a very special person, Tomoya Goto, the Japanese representative.
I want to add that you've added that Japan flag. That wasn't part of the Motors graphic.
No, I just had to do it just to make sure, alongside Derek Coulson, Jeffrey Dizwan, Scott Robertson, Danny Van Tripe, Marcel Otter, Jamie Hughes, Mark Dudbridge, Mike Gillett, Alex Williams, Tom Cromwell, and Barry Copeland, the veteran there. Group A results.
The former semi-finalist at the World Match Play who tops Group A.
Yep. So we have Jeffrey Dizwan, who was the Group A winner on 24 points, 12-3 record. Since we're on a Friday, we've got more news. We've got a breakdown on the next slide. Obviously, the winner, and there are the groups after Group A's action. We've also got Group C results after day 1 on the next slide as well. So Alex Williams leads that 4-1 with 8 points. And we have the recap on the next slide. It hasn't been updated, but Tom Sykes obviously Week 8 there, alongside Carl Wilkinson, Keegan Brown, Neil Duff, David Pallett, Jensen Walker, David Evans, and Jamie Owens. So there are those ones there. No fixture this week between us, just so much stuff going on, and no fixture for Dart Counter. I'll tell you why, because the app was crashed for a good 3 days, back and forth.
This is the Darts Down Under Division 2, which for any new listeners of the podcast is the
online league.
Darts Counter online league that Josh is a member of. He's part of Division 2.
Yes.
He had the highest checkout in the tournament despite absolutely fluking it into double top.
Shush. So that'll be postponed. Cody's a bit sick as well, so I hope he's all right. But yeah, Dark Counter, get your shit together, please. The Premier League continues.
The week ahead, the Premier League is the most important thing from our point of view. So Adelaide, again, looking forward to see what the crowd's like. Simon Whitlock versus Tim Pusey, Raymond Smith versus Joe Comito, James Bailey against Ben Robb, Brody Kling against Johnny Tata. I mean, every match just has so much riding on it.
So much at stake.
Quarterfinals, to get 2-0 at this, with how tight the ladder is or the standings are, is so crucial at this point of the competition, Josh.
Absolutely. There's so many. Literally, every match has something to play for, especially those guys in that sort of bottom quartile, if you will. So Whitlock and Pusey, that would be a cracker, because Pusey needs a win for sure. Raymond Smith, Comito. If Comito could cause an upset and get to a semi-final or final, who knows? So
throw the tournament
so much
wide
to play for.
Open.
Absolutely, so much to play for. So that happens in Adelaide, the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on Saturday.
Didn't add any dot points to this, but Ross Smith beat Michael Smith in the 2022 European Championship final to claim his first major title and deny Michael Smith. At least it will take him another year and a bit to get that elusive major win. But this week, 2013, and there is an Australian presence as well.
Talking of Whitlock, I thought I'd chuck him in. So 2013 European Darts Championship, just speak on the Euro Tour as we are. Adrian Lewis versus Whitlock, best of 21 legs this one. They go head-to-head in a very close final. Lewis takes the early lead, winning 4 out of the first 5 legs. Whitlock finds a way to sort of bring it back to manageable deficit? They both average 100 by the halfway mark. Will Lewis cruise to victory, or will Whitlock pull out some magic and bounce back for
Next
the win?
week,
We'll find it next
Grand
week.
Slam of darts from my point of view, and I'm throwing in what many people who watched it and even those who commentated on it said it's the greatest darts match of all time. So that'll be next week.
There are so many in contention. You could, two 9 darts on one night. You could do so many different ones.
Alrighty, let's wrap it up.
Let's.
Well done again to Gian van Veen for picking up his first major
Absolutely.
title, up to world number 7 in the world now.
Incredible.
From 15. So
Big jump.
Big jump
8 spots.
there. And congratulations to Damon Hedder for qualifying for the Grand Slam. We did not want to see him go through the qualifier. Best of luck to all those in the qualifier. Tomorrow will be interesting to see who makes it out. And hopefully we'll come to you next week with a decent enough bracket or group stage. Group stage also throws up some interesting things from time to time. You reckon there's going to be a possibility here for an absolute? We saw it a bit last year with, I think it was Bunting, Nijman, Rock, and Van Veen in one group. We could have an absolute group of death if you get any number of these seeds with someone like Bo Greaves and
as well.
Someone. So we're going to. I'm
her.
fascinated to see how she goes at the Grand Slam of Darts off
Absolutely.
the winner, women's series Order of Merit winner. So fascinating to see.
72 games in a row.
I'm not sure. We probably maybe did mention this at the time, but I should remind everyone this happened a couple of weeks ago. Lawrence Delagat, who won the Asian Championship final, he had to withdraw from the Grand Slam for medical reasons. So it's Alexis Toilo, the runner-up in that tournament, who'll be taking his place.
Hopefully he's okay.
That's probably well known at this point, but I'm not even sure if I mentioned it on the podcast. So I thought I'd just bring it up while I'm looking at the Grand Slam. Already qualified players. Looking forward to that particular tournament. Looking forward to see how the ANZ Premier League pans out. So next week we'll preview the Grand Slam of Darts. We'll look back on the Adelaide Premier League night, which should be interesting. Obviously more modus and WDF this weekend as well with the World Masters, World Open, and I think there's a World Championship qualifier all in Hungary. So there's a big going on. I know Matthew Edgar, who was at Modus.
He was.
Last week he is going over there to play I think the World Open and the World Championship qualifier I think as well, so that'll be on. I think some of that might be streamed on YouTube as well, like we saw with the World Cup. So if you're interested in watching some of that second tier tournament, you can check out the WDF darts over the weekend.
Hopefully I've got an update on my darts counter fixture. I'll have a ladder for you and all my results, so that'll be good fun as well. Big show. Yeah,
good show. Let me just have a look at the dart counter coming soon to see if there's anything else I should mention. The UK Ireland Tour Card and Amateur World Championship qualifier is also coming up. That's the day after the Grand Slam qualifier, so we'll have another international qualifier booked in for the Worlds as well. That's pretty much it from us, I think.
I think so.
We've pretty much covered all ground in the world of darts, at least for this week.
Absolutely.
And we'll come back next week with previewing the Slam, which is always an interesting event.
Thank you.
All right, that's it.
Good
This
show.
has been the 9 Dart Podcast. Finished with Andrew Gilding.
And Cameron as well. I'm usually the one who does the thumbs up, but you joined me. Sweet. All right. I don't know how long that went for, but I reckon it was a fraction shorter than usual.
It was a fraction shorter than usual.
But